people say, you're so lucky you can have this life. Yes, but the reason why I'm really lucky is not that I have that life. The reason why I'm lucky is that I live in a part of the world where I can choose to have that life.
Welcome to Season 2 of the Stories Cafe podcast, the espresso version of Stories Cafe, a brief, enriching pause for reflection on literature, cinema, archetypes, philosophy, and the art of living deliberately. I'm Annette Wernblatt, course creator, internationally published author, and wanderer at heart. So cozy up and let's once again step into the world of stories and the deep ways in which they can shape the lives we live.
Welcome to June. And if you know me at all, you probably know that June is always a very special month for me because we have the summer solstice toward the end of this month, which I think is one of the most important dates of the year, but I'll talk a lot more about that later at a special bonus event I'll be doing for you. And some of you probably know that I'll spent most of June in Nice in the south of France. And I thought it'd be really, really nice to introduce you to some of the things I love about Nice. As you probably all know, a lot of painters and a lot of writers have lived there, and there's a reason for that, and I'm going to tell you all about that as we go along. Maybe I will actually create a little guide for you with some of the things, in case you go to Nice, that you know where some of the places I love are. I know that some of you took my guided tour in Paris and followed the steps that we walked through, so I think I'll do something similar with Nice. And the place that I will start, as always, our sort of point of departure is the art of living deliberately, which, as you know, I'm a huge fan of that concept of what does it mean to live deliberately as opposed to living authentically or mindfully or some of the other ways that you can live your life consciously. And a lot of people say to me that, oh my God, you are so lucky that you can do that you can just pack up and go to Nice and sit there and work for a month. And I was thinking, yes, I am definitely so lucky. And I know that a lot of people envy that lifestyle. But again, it has to do with, and this is what I'm trying to say to you over and over again, that life, a lot of it is about choosing deliberately where you want to, what it is that you want to do with your life. So when I choose that lifestyle, it has costs because, as we have talked about many times, I'm a firm believer that what it means for you to live deliberately, or one of the things it means, is that you make a decision. And when you make a decision, there are other things you choose not to do. And just to get back to that concept that we talked about, the concept of freedom, that the workshop that I created, the Revitalize workshop, it's about what I call the path to freedom. For me, freedom, and it is such a sort of, again, philosophical concept, that Kris Kristofferson said that freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose, which is, again, a sentence that we could talk about for a long time. For me, freedom is not about having the freedom to let yourself be distracted by every random thing that comes in your path. For me, freedom is really about saying, what I quoted to you again, Kris Kristofferson, he said that if you have the freedom to be this person that you're meant to be, then you also have the obligation to be this person that you're meant to be. And for me, freedom is about saying, I am lucky. People say, you're so lucky you can have this life. Yes, but the reason why I'm really lucky is not that I have that life. The reason why I'm lucky is that I live in a part of the world where I can choose to have that life. But it's about making that choice and saying, I'm choosing to live my life that way. There are other things then that I, by definition, can't do. There are other things that other people take for granted that I have let go of and don't have in my life. But to choose what I want to do and do it both feet in. You can change your mind along the way, all that you want. As I said, any story that you create for yourself is fine, as long as you're deliberate about it. So just where do I start telling you about Nice? As some of you know, I've been going down there for the past more than 20 years in August for my vacation. I'm not very good necessarily at taking vacations. I'm not very good at sort of relaxing and just relaxing, because I love my work and everything becomes work. You're reading, I don't know what, the Count of Monte Cristo, and suddenly it becomes work because you start taking notes. But what I found out was that in Nice, and one of the things I'd like to explore with you today is, why is that place so perfect for that? What is it about Nice that is so special? I mean, all the south of France, the entire Riviera is special, but Nice also has some things that the other places don't have. And for me, one of the things was that once I started going there for a week at the beginning, and mostly I've been going for a week in August, is that I discovered that there I can completely let go. I can completely not check my email, not check my messages, not check anything, just check out and say, well, I have this week off and I'm not gonna do anything except maybe a Sudoku or read a book that I enjoy. Mostly, hopefully, something that doesn't turn out to be work. So I was actually very reluctant when I had a chance to go for an entire month, because I thought, all right, I'm not going to be able to take an entire month off. So I'm going to bring work and actually do work there. So I was a little bit reluctant to do that because traditionally Nice has been my place, and I stay in the same little apartment with the most spectacular view every single time. That I thought, is this a good idea to start doing work when I normally go in August to relax? And it occurred to me, yes, because then you can do what you're not able to do at home, where I typically have like a million balls in the air all the time. I can actually go there and let go of everything else except the project I chose to work on. And also because, I'm all about the stories, not just the stories that the great writers and filmmakers and artists create for us, but also the stories that we tell ourselves in our heads and the stories that we create for ourselves that we live by.
Thank you so much for joining me. If this episode added value to your day, you're always welcome to return. You can follow the podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts so that each new episode lands directly in your podcast app. And if you feel like leaving a review, it helps others to find their way here too. If you'd like to go deeper, you're warmly welcome inside Stories Cafe. Just go to stories-cafe.com, where you'll find further reflections, conversations, and a growing library of ideas. I'm looking forward to welcoming you back next time.